My wife is always putting our older daughter on the back burner and letting her younger sister physically assault her. So I am leaving with my baby and closing this chapter. My eldest NT daughter, 7, has had to make so many sacrifices for her sister with nonverbal autism. 5. More sacrifices than any child should have to make. She has unintentionally been put on the back burner ever since her younger sister was born. It is clearly taking a toll on her and I felt really bad. The poor child cannot even have playdates unless I'm there because my wife cannot manage another child alone on top of our 2 because our daughter with autism needs constant supervision, can be aggressive and is very prone to meltdowns. She cannot even go to friends' houses unless I'm there to help unless the other parent can drive her and bring her back because our daughter with autism is too difficult to handle in cars without another adult there. She has also been subject to aggressive behaviors from her sister and has been always expected to let her sister have the first turn, the biggest piece and the winning ticket so to speak. She has also had her toys frequently destroyed by her sister. I partly blame myself for this and I'm trying to do better by her. She has been dying for a kitten ever since she could speak but my wife kept saying no because she couldn't handle any more work as our autistic daughter requires so much care. I see the longing look on my daughter's eyes whenever there's a kitten on the television in a magazine etc. I've tried to get easy pets like a betta fish so my wife wouldn't be overwhelmed but she still wants a kitten. My wife is a som and I work long hours. I thought my daughter has had it rough these past 5 years and for once deserved a little joy in her life, so I decided against my wife's wishes to get her a kitten. The joy on her face ever since having her new kitten brought tears to my eyes and I'm not a crier. My wife is furious with me and has demanded that I return the kitten. Our daughter cried so much overhearing this I have usually acquiesced to her but this time I put my foot down and said absolutely not. I understand she's overwhelmed but our daughter deserves a little bit of joy in her life for once, and as she gets older she will be able to handle the kitten more. Our daughter is a person and not just supposed to be a decorative artifact in her sister's story. I understand she's the one who's home and has to help take care of it much of the time, but it will not be a kitten forever and it will grow into a more independent cat. At least our daughter was asking for a kitten rather than a puppy, which is a lot more work. I've seen a lot of posts on here about adult children of disabled siblings going no contact with their parents due to emotional neglect and I am trying to prevent that from happening. Update. My wife and I are now separated and more likely than not getting a divorce. I have tried everything and my wife has refused all suggestions. She refuses respite care because daughter with autism doesn't like strangers. Said the same thing when I offered to hire a pet sitter for the kitten for when I'm not home to help. I spoke to an old acquaintance of mine from college who is now a child psychologist because I was at my wit's end. He said I'm going to be very candid with you. Children with high needs autism such as yours will only get bigger, stronger, and worse. Yes, she may currently be helped by ABA therapy and such, but all that help/training will go out the window once she hits puberty. And in every single case their well siblings have ended up with psychological issues, depression, anxiety, and CPTSD, and often low or no contact with parents upon adulthood. And telling your child that I'm doing the best I can and don't take it personal will not reduce the harmful impact on their mental and emotional health. My advice, get her into a group home ASAP. I'm not saying forget about her or don't be in her life. I'm saying that is where they all end up eventually and you'll be doing no one any favors by waiting until she's too large and strong for you and your wife to manage. I have not seen one case of behavior improving for the long term until they ended up in a group home. I'm sorry to have to be so grim but I couldn't bring myself to lie to you. It's no one's fault. It's the nature of high needs low functioning autism. All the love in the world won't fix it. I thanked him for his honesty. I discussed it with me wife including the group home. She'll have none of it. A minute later I heard a tumble and 2 loud cries. Older daughter is at bottom of steps, younger one is at the top. She cried, she pushed me. All her mother could say was if you had picked up your toys like I told you to this wouldn't have happened. She stepped on your toy and got upset, that's why she pushed you. This was the final straw for me. I said, for the love of God, what's wrong with you? She's 7 years old. Neither of us can handle her and you expect a 7-year-old to? She yelled at me to get out. I told her way ahead of you. I want a divorce and I'm taking oldest daughter and kitten with me. I took daughter to the hospital to get her checked out for internal injuries. She has a few scrapes but is otherwise okay, physically at least. Wife never called to ask if she was okay. She and I are staying in a hotel with kitten until I find us an apartment. We've only been here 3 days and I already see such a difference in daughter. She's not the shell of a child I once knew. She's happy, vibrant, calmer than I've ever seen her and hasn't cried once, while she used to cry 1-2 a day before. I do also plan to get her therapy ASAP, which her mother wouldn't let her do, claiming no time. But when I offered for her to do Zoom sessions with therapists she said no because she doesn't want the therapist judging her. And she absolutely adores her kitten. She stays with my parents while I'm working. And I plan to send more than ample child support/alimony to my wife and other daughter and let them have the house. I did what I had to do for her well-being. The child psychologist I spoke with said I'm the first parent he's seen who advocates this much for the well child. And that broke my heart.